Simplified Chaos, episode 123.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey everybody, welcome to Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my co-host and husband, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? Happy Independence Day to all of you out there in the U.S. We are recording this episode on July 4th, something a little bit different, and we're doing it in the afternoon while drinking some vino here. And that's because our daughter just decided to take a little nap. I think she's gearing up for this evening's festivities, hopefully. But we feel like we have a solid hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before she wakes back up. I know I'm probably jinxing it right now. So yeah, we are recording this and excited to be here with you this week. Jilly, what are we diving into?
I really haven't thought about what I want to call this or label it, but it's all about investing with intention.
Investing, a money episode. I love these kinds of episodes, by the way.
I know you do. I know we're going to have a more thorough dive into finances. We just have to do our homework first before we do that.
We're still navigating our finances from this little change in our lives, so
little change.
Yeah. Well, and you're still getting paid through the end of this month. So there's going to be some drastic changes that we need to prepare for. So we will have probably some episodes a little bit later on down the road about how to, change your budget, when you have a big change in life. So there's a lot of cool things that we're going to be able to explore over the next couple of months. But yeah, today we're going to talk a little bit about slowing down when it comes to decisions on finance.
Yes. And yes, because I feel like we're making a lot of those decisions just being in a new house and even preparing for this move. There was a lot of discussion over what to invest in. I'm going to use the word invest a lot because for some reason I just think it sounds way more sophisticated than just saying buy. I don't know. When I use the word invest,
buy.
I just think of you have to be very thorough and do a lot of thinking when you invest in something. So I like using the word invest than just buy because I feel like already it sounds like you were really intentional with the decision you made. So
yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're going to slow down because we haven't had our gratitude segment yet. And it's a big gratitude segment this week.
Yeah.
So let's start there, Jilly.
Okay.
We hit a milestone this week.
We did.
We hit 20,000 downloads.
Woo! Yeah.
That's big for us.
It's huge for us, and not playing the comparison game by any means, and we really don't look at the numbers. At least I never look at the numbers. No. But Nick was logging on, and he was like, "Hey, we just hit over 20,000 downloads," yeah. And I was like, "That's exciting. We need to celebrate this. Celebrate the little win." So
yeah, our podcast website just gave us a badge for hitting 20,000 downloads. I was like, "Cool." That's cheers. Awesome. So cheers. But, more importantly, why this is gratitude segment is because we are grateful for all of you. You spend half hour, 45 minutes with us. Back in the day, it used to be an hour.
Dang, you're right.
I know. We used to long form this. But no, we really appreciate everybody who listens to us, who interacts with us on social media. This is really cool that we're able to reach out to an audience, and especially people who have like-minded ways of life, I guess is the way to say it. But thank you all so much for being here with us, and especially those who have been here every step of the way. We truly appreciate you, but all of you, we appreciate you very much. Whether this is your first episode or you've been with us for a while, thank you so much.
Yes, we are so grateful for you just tagging along because I feel like a lot has changed since our very first episode, but we really, really, truly appreciate this community, and we're going to have to do something fun. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it should be like a giveaway or I don't know. Maybe you guys can shoot us some ideas as well, but it would be fun to do something special to celebrate this little win.
Fly somebody into Charlottesville to hang out with us.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
but we have to talk about that
Yeah.
financial.
We have to
planning.
talk about that financial planning. Well, it's a good segue into today's episode, but also that would be awesome.
Yeah. Goals.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Podcast goals. Hashtag. Anyways, Jilly,
Yeah.
we wanted to talk a little bit about slowing down, and I think this episode, as a lot of our episodes come from, is like just reading something, and this happened to be in the journal, or is it a journal? Planner
Journal, yeah.
/ journals that we've purchased from Ink and Volt. A little name drop there, just because we really enjoy their planners. So Jilly, you read this to me the other day, and we were like, let's do an episode. So give it a read.
Yes. So I read this and I was like, oh my God, like we're doing this. Nick to me like resonated so much with this quote, or not quote, but in the journal each week they have just something for you to think about, which I love. So it's actually for next week. I was kind of going ahead and I was like reading it just to see what next week was all about. And it was titled Get Specific. And it said, the next time you're faced with a tough decision, try comparing options based on as many factors as you can. Time, money, values, sacrifices, etc. The more thorough your review, the more confident you can be in your final call. And to me, I feel like you are the essence of this right now, because I know we're doing some of the purchases or investments together, but I feel like you are so good at being specific with making decisions, no matter how long it may take you. And then I do notice, like, when we do get the product or the service or whatever we decide to invest in, I mean, you're really fucking confident. Like, hey, we usually never have issues or problems with any of the things we buy or invest in, because we've done a lot of research about it, instead of just like hitting the buy button just because it looks cool at the time, or we have that impulsive, like, let's do it, you know. So I just thought this would be a great topic to dive into, because I feel like we're going through this motion pretty frequently right now.
It could be very easy for us to just buy anything and everything just because we sold the house. We have some, money to play around with to make this house ours, but I've been burned a few times in the past. And really, it's funny, when you were just talking there, I was kind of thinking like the times that I have been burned on products. And it's usually if I've gone to like Consumer Reports and read their reviews on things, and then didn't listen to like the people who actually review the product or had a problem with it. And there are a lot of products out there. I think ceiling fans have been the most challenging thing for me as of late, just because, I do like to read the reviews and the experience that other people have. But at the same time, people who install ceiling fans may have done something wrong. There's a lot of room for error there. So you have to be very careful with that. But yeah, it's funny, like with some of the lights that we have in our room that we just installed this week, with the floor lamps, we were looking at, I guess, more expensive ones. And, we were like, well, the ones that we wanted were not in stock. The other ones had a $49.99 shipping charge for the floor lamps, which is basically, I've worked in a company before, they're just taking money on top of it. Like, it doesn't cost that much money to ship that stuff. They're basically just adding price to the lamp there. And when I was reading the reviews of it, they weren't any better or worse than the ones we ended up going with on Amazon. And we saved ourselves about $200.
Yeah.
When it came down to that. I mean, that's a significant amount of money when it comes to lamps. So yeah, like it's really just not going after the first thing you see, but making sure that you cover. And yes, there is some decision fatigue that's involved in that. I think there was some nights where I was just like, I'm going to give up on this and just, wake up to, and I never made a decision right. When I was frustrated, I always would like wait and sleep on it until the next morning. But I've been very confident in all the decisions we've made. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying, like time, money, effort, all of that stuff is like weighed in, like, how long is it going to take me to put something together? How much is this going to cost? Is this reasonable compared to other things that are out there? Like, these are just all the things that kind of go through my mind. But it was built to me a really long time ago. Like when I was a kid and a teenager, I would agonize over spending my money on something and just be like, is this the right thing for me? Is like, am I willing to spend? So it was something that was instilled in me very early. I lost touch with it in my 20s. Had some bad experiences in my 20s, but all in all, that's really helped me shape to where I am today. So I know that was a long-winded intro to this, but that's kind of where I'm at.
No, I actually enjoyed hearing like where this skill rooted from, like in childhood.
It was like I was really bad with like decision making, and it was good. I mean, it wasn't bad with decision making, but it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to spend my money on.
I love that, and I think just it's harder than ever to slow down when it comes to investing in things because companies make it so easy just to like save your credit card, or like even your phone saves your information. PayPal, it's just like a simple button automatically is like it puts it at your door in a couple days. So I think it takes a lot of practice to just really slow down.
So easy to buy stuff these days.
Yeah, with just your investments, whether that is
shit, you can buy shit on Instagram. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's an actual tab on the freaking bottom of Instagram that'll take you to a store. That's insane.
Yeah. So, I think this is really relevant, and maybe a lot of people may struggle with this. And a lot of times if I'm feeling like super happy, finger giddy with like, I want to purchase, it's like, I just get out of it. And like, I have that rule. Like if I think about it a couple days from now, like I'll go back and check it out. But normally most of the time I forget about it, which means it really wasn't worth it. It was just that adrenaline rush that usually you get when you hit that button of getting something new, that newness rush. So I really appreciate you with being specific and being slow and being super intentional about what we invest in.
Yeah.
With the house, and we even talk about services, like what we want to invest in, like as far as experiences. Like I feel like and just to talk about our strengths and weaknesses and that, like I think your strengths definitely balance me out because I feel stronger in being intentional and slow to choose places where we stay, like Airbnb.
Oh yeah, you're great at that.
So like my scale and like rating that is like I look for location, walkability, like are there good places to eat nearby, or is there nature nearby? So I definitely have that category of like things that I think about when I look for a place where we want to stay. Whereas you're super good with when it comes to products, like for example, our lamps and the fans, and like when you buy shoes, like you're super intentional about like researching and looking at the reviews. And some people may be like, that's ridiculous that you spend that much time. But honestly, we've saved so much more money doing it this way. And the products end up being way better long-term because we did the heavy thinking or the heavy, whatever you call it, with research. And it's made me a lot happier because I feel like we have less shit to take care of, and the shit we do have is beautiful shit. And I love that shit, and we use that shit. So
it's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole balancing out thing is right, because I definitely needed a little push with the shoes that I just bought, because it sounds weird, but like I buy shoes maybe every 3 years. I did not buy a single pair of shoes in 2020. I bought 2 pairs of Sperry's back in November of 2019. So that was the last time I bought shoes, and they were like $30 at the time. Great steal. Like it was Black Friday weekend. Yeah,
just happened to be there. The stars aligned for their shoe shopping.
So like, and those 2 pairs of shoes have basically what I've worn the last 2 years. Like, especially with being out of the office, like I have work shoes, but I've worn them maybe once or twice because I've only been in the office once or twice. I do have some appearances coming in the office relatively soon. I am excited about that and to wear those shoes. But now I've got like dress shoes that I was like, well, if I'm only going to the office once or twice, do I need 3 pairs of dress shoes now?
Yeah.
But so, long story short is like, I needed some encouragement to finally hit it. It sat in the shopping cart literally for a week, and I didn't forget about it because I was like, I really do like these shoes. I was drawn to them. I hope they're everything that I want in a shoe. And I know we're talking shoes. It seems silly, but I mean, these are kind of the things that weigh me down. But, at the end of the day, I feel like I've made the right choice. So like Jill was just like, just get them. I got a notice yesterday that they were 20% off instead of 15. I had a 15 as a new buyer for this company, but then 4th of July came around and they're like, okay, 20% off. So I was like, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah, and I knew you were talking about them for a while, so I knew that you had done the research and you were just kind of like needed that little extra motivation. I was like, Nick, just get the shoes. I've been hearing about these shoes. Clearly, you've been eyeing them up, reading about them, and they've
Now I got to do shorts. I haven't bought clothes in literally 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Like I'm rocking the same Old Navy V-necks and crew shirts for the last 4 to 5 years.
And I never thought I'd be in the same boat with you, and extremely happy about that boat being in there with you. But I look back at pictures from like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm wearing the same shorts, the same shirts, the same hats. And I'm like, I'm just like really appreciative for you helping me, because I was not like that before. I was Target happy. I was Marshalls happy.
Oh yeah,
I was fast fashion happy, and I realized it didn't really make me happy. It made me happy in the moment, yeah, but my bank account,
yeah. I mean, if
not so exciting.
If you haven't pooped in a couple of days, you just go to Marshalls and then you get excited over clothes, and then all of a sudden, boom. And I know. Did I just share too much?
No. But honestly, I did reflect about like why do I have to take a poop every time I want to go shopping? And I think it's because I get excited for the options, for the creativity of like, I get to choose. I don't think it had anything to do with like, I know it sounds silly, but I was really reflecting on that. Like, why do I do that? But anyway, yeah. So, and I think that practice really helps. I'm noticing being slow with investing has really helped when you find something that you really like, not buying it in every color because you like it so much.
Yeah.
So for example, my hats, my wide brim hats, I love them to death. And it's so tempting. You know, when you find something that fits you, that's beautiful, you're like, oh, well, since it fits so well and the quality's great, I should probably buy them in at least 2 different colors. But I found that when I've done that in the past with like shirts or shorts or anything like that, there still was like 3 or 4 shirts that I didn't really love. I just did it because the other one felt good, but it usually isn't. It's not an equal equation for the rest of it. And it makes me wear and love those things that I have few of so much more. So like I only have the white hat, the green hat, and then my like fall hat. And that's it. Like I want to keep like boundaries within myself of just having like 3 wide brim hats. Like no matter how much I love them, it doesn't mean I need to get more, which is really hard sometimes. When you find something you love, you're like immediately like, I want to collect more. And that's what it becomes. It becomes a collection more than something you wear, and something that, you know, I don't know, maintains the intention you had for it originally. So that was a big reflection for me of just when you do find something you love, just making sure that you love on that and not feel like you have to buy more of it. And, you know, just takes up space, really, for me at least.
And I think like another reason why like I like to do a lot of research on things before I buy is because I actually hate going shopping and going to the store and trying shit on. Like I'd rather avoid going into a fitting room unless I'm, you know, work clothes is different. Like I wanted those to fit nicely, but I even found a place online that had really great dress shirts and was able to, you know, find some that fit me very well. I think pants shopping is like the most difficult thing. Or suit shopping. You don't really want to do that online, but I've given it a try. I actually bought my brother-in-law's, it was basically his suit for his wedding that just didn't fit him the way that he wanted. Instead of returning it, I was like, let me save you the hassle because this fits me perfectly. So I ended up buying that from him. I do need to get them hem though, now that I think about it. Although I don't know when the hell I'm going to wear a suit again. But yeah, I mean, I just hate going shopping to malls and all that stuff. So like, yeah, I prefer to do online shopping, but that means I have to do a lot more research and make sure that I'm not trigger happy when it comes to buying something. And that's why I do what I do. Yeah.
And just to kind of piggyback, I was listening to a podcast, which may or may not be the resource.
You were listening to a podcast? Another podcast other than ours?
Of course.
How dare you?
And it was talking about the reflection of, you know, one of the habits to being more confident is actually moving slower.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that I feel like we emit a lot of confidence in our wardrobe and how we carry ourselves and our home. And I feel like that has a lot to do with just, we're very slow to purchase. We're very slow to invest.
Yeah.
And when we do, we wear it or we show it or we use it with pride because we knew the time and the effort it took to make that investment, which makes us appreciate it that much more. And I think that's why we love to have, I guess, fewer items, or just
It is, yeah.
because we want to make sure that we feel confident with every purchase. And when that confidence starts to to go down, I feel like that's when you know that all right, I think it's time to part with this because I don't feel like it doesn't have as big a purpose in my life as it did before. So I think it's kind of cool to have that radar of confidence and unconfidence, because it kind of helps you know when to go after things and then when to let things go out of your life, if that makes any sense.
Oh, definitely. No, that makes perfect sense. And I think that because everything we buy is a hell yeah for us, it's very easy to have that confidence with it. And it's even funny, just with the move, I've still got we went through all our clothes, we gave stuff to Goodwill and whatnot. And I even packed some other stuff again, and I was just going through it as I was putting it into our closet and our drawers, and I'm not gonna wear this shit. So I've got a half a box full of stuff that I'm ready to donate still. So it's always a good time to just continue to go through that stuff. It was stuff that was bought 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago in my case, and it's just okay, it's had its course. They were a hell yeah at the time, but just not feeling it anymore.
Yeah, I feel like we're definitely gonna have another mini purging.
Oh yeah. Got that corner in the garage all set up.
So talking about investments, we did invest in some really nice shelves, because I did want something in our living room that kind of showcased the books that we really love, and just a couple of timesake pieces that either were from my grandparents or just something that was from our wedding, small things that just remind me of those special moments. And I'm seeing so many extra picture frames and decorations that I loved in our old home. And now it's there is literally no, I mean, I don't want to just throw things on the wall for the sake of throwing on the wall, because I know I appreciate that open space feel so much. So I know we're going to have to get rid of a lot of things, because they really don't make me, they just don't, there's no more confidence in my home with them anymore. Yeah. It's I appreciate the space as equally as I appreciate the decorations. And now it's just going to take a lot of just creative ways and to find good homes for them. I would like to find other ways besides just doing Goodwill.
Yeah. There are definitely other ways.
Yeah.
I mean, people want our wedding pictures in their house, so I will say though, I am very proud of you, and because I know when you got here, you were ready to just throw everything up. You wanted to make it a home, and we kind of had to talk. We're hey, listen, let's slow down. Let's make sure what we put up is what we want. So everything has been done with a purpose. Everything that we bought has been for a purpose. And so I'm proud of you, babe. I know that was tough.
Well, slowing down helps you really think with intention, which this is all about, not being trigger happy or just impulsive. And I have been impulsive in the past, and it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but I'm finding ways to control it more, because I find that when I do control it, really great things happen from that, just like this house.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, being impulsive is not a bad thing at all.
Absolutely not.
I would say that the timing for this move down here was probably impulsive when you look at the overall grand scheme of things, but it really was also very calculated, and there was a lot of things that happened along the way that just confirmed that this was the right thing for us to do. So I would say that this was maybe an impulsive buy with a lot of slowing down and really thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
I don't want to call it impulsive, because I think the opportunity was right in the things that we had been planning and talking about for years. We're literally in our fingertips on our phone saying, this is what you have been talking about. This is what you've been dreaming about. This is what you value. So it was I think it feels impulsive because we weren't expecting it to happen in that timeline.
Maybe that's a good way to put it.
Because we had been talking about this for years of just, we saw ourselves to the mountains. We wanted more nature. We wanted to slow down. And it literally was there. And we just said, all we had to do was say yes. So I think it felt impulsive.
Say yes to the dress.
It wasn't in our initial quote unquote plan or timeline, which I think that's a lot of things in life. A lot of things are thrown in your life that you're that wasn't the plan, or I didn't see myself here. And it just...
You're so wise. Like a miniature Buddha.
I saw your head shaking, and I was like, he's got a quote coming from a movie.
Yeah, you can see it now. The writing's on the wall.
The writing is on the wall.
Yeah. But anything else? I think that was a good overview of slowing down our spending.
No, I
In
did.
our Slow the Fuck Down series.
I know. Nick was like, is this part of our Slow the Fuck Down series? And I was like, I like the idea of having a series. Like, that's like a little theme around our episode. So I'm digging
We
it.
tend to cluster certain
do.
themes together without giving it a theme name. So we're calling this the Slow the Fuck Down series.
I like it. I think we should start doing that. It's fun.
Yeah. I'm wondering what we're going to slow down next week.
Sex.
No. Chill. We talked about this.
I guess I don't know if our next conversation will be finances. I think I want to put that out there because I do want to have intention with just finding creative ways on to work with your salary, and I want to be transparent about it. I really want to just talk about money and just be like crystal clear and not feel like, oh, like I shouldn't say this, or it's weird to ask what you make. Like, I'm just kind of over it. Like, let's be transparent with our finances. I think we all can benefit from learning creative ways how people are living their life, maybe with less money and less things. So I want to start just talking more about finances and just making it not hush hush anymore. Like, let's normalize it.
My biggest thing is if anybody can find where you can just get catastrophic health insurance coverage, that'd be awesome in the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
Because there's a model out there that I want to invest in for our family, but it seems silly because everything has to be covered under insurance, which don't get me started on that. Well, that's for another topic. But if anybody knows if you can just get catastrophic insurance somewhere, let us know.
Yeah. That's something that
we're in the market for healthcare insurance.
I even had that on my list of like, we're trying to get specific and intentional about insurance, like, because that game is wildly different now without me being a teacher. So I'm up for the challenge. So talk to us about insurance. Let's hear all the good.
Because all that has to deal with our budgeting and stuff like that. So we'll report more on that when we get there. But Jilly, do you got any references for us here today?
References.
Is that what we call them? References?
Resources.
Man, this vino's kicking in.
Oh, it wasn't even that big of a glass.
It was a half a glass.
It was like the last of our white wine references.
Can you provide me your references, please? Have you podcasted before? No? Okay.
I took keyboarding class.
Oh, well.
In high school.
Step up to the microphone.
And I learned from a book, not from the teacher.
Oh.
It was great.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Give them those references.
So the resource is, I kind of noted that this was going to be the resource, is a podcast episode from On Purpose, which is the Shetty podcast.
Shetty. He's awesome.
And the title of it was 7 Habits of Highly Confident People. And just some of the highlights that to me really related to like what we're doing when it comes to investing was that just to move with the pace of love, to move with intention, to respond with intention, not out of haste, or you will waste. Look at that rhyme.
That is a sick rhyme.
And I really enjoyed this analogy. He said to kind of move like you're rock climbing, choosing your next step, with a lot of thought of like, how is that going to position me to go to the next step? He was like, rock climbers really never go, can't wait till I get to the top. Like, that's all they look at. It's like they're literally not looking at the top. They're literally looking at what's next in front of me, which I was like, that's a great analogy to kind of help with just in whatever you're processing in life. And
love it.
Yeah, just that confidence comes from not reacting, but responding slowly. So, yeah.
Very good. Is that your quote of the day as well?
It is. I ruined it. I'll say it again. Confidence comes from not reacting, but responding slowly.
Very good.
Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty. What up? And your take action challenge is be very thoughtful when it comes to what it is you're purchasing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get specific.
Yes.
Think slowly.
Consider your time, the money, the effort, all that good shit.
Good things take time, baby.
That's right. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Please do us a favor. If you like this episode, help us spread the message. You can do this by writing a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it. I don't know. I do know, but... Or you can simply share this episode with a friend. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation. Conversation leads to action. And action is how we're able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. We want to thank you all for listening today. And we will see you again next week.
Catch y'all later.